Welcome, traveler, to Echoes of the Wise. This is episode 1, The Power of Letting Go. I am Jason Welch, the Flame Bearer, and this day we walk through the chamber of release. Here, in these ruins of memory and fire, we learn that sometimes the strongest act is not to clutch harder, but to open our hands, not to cling, but to let fall what no longer belongs. Mark the path that this echo serves you. Hit that like button. Follow, subscribe, and light the way for others. Share. The journey deepens with each step. Now, come closer and let us begin. The paradox of strength. You call it a paradox because it just kind of doesn't make a lot of sense until you really dig in, right? We often confuse strength with holding on. We clutch tightly to our goals, our relationships, our beliefs about how life should unfold. We think that to release is to surrender, to lose, to fail. But here's the paradox. Sometimes real strength is found in release. In the Emberborn ruins, there are walls that shift. Those who cling to them are crushed when the stones move. The wise learn to carry only what can move with them. Embers only light enough to bear, bright enough to guide. So too it is with us. To cling too tightly is to bleed. To release is to breathe. The elves of Feracinth learned long ago that nature teaches many lessons. Look to the trees. Do they not mourn the falling of leaves? No, they do not cling. They trust the turning of the season. Bare branches are not endings. They are beginnings. And so the question rises, if nature can release with such trust, why do we resist? Why do we clutch dead leaves until our knuckles ache? Often, I have found it is because we mistake attachment for love. We confuse familiarity for truth. And we fear that if we let go, we'll fall into emptiness. But here's the deeper truth. Sometimes we are already falling, and our grip on yesterday only slows the descent, prolonging the pain. Is it that grip that hurts? Imagine a villager carrying a burlap sack filled with stones of regret. Each day he adds another. Soon, his back bends. His breath shortens, and he can go no further. But one day, he sets down the sack. It is only then that he realizes the world's still open to him. The valley wide, the mountains calling. He was never trapped by the road. He was trapped by what he carried. So too it is with us. You are not stuck because of what happened yesterday. You are stuck because you're still carrying it today. Now, if we listen closely, we can hear the whispers of the ancients. Rumi, for example, a poet of the 13th century, once wrote, "In your world, not here, try not to resist the changes that come your way. Instead, let life live through you." If nothing else, trust this. Release is not weakness. It is not defeat. Instead, it is the conscious act of making space. In another age, also in your world, the Buddha taught, you can only lose what you cling to. Both voices echo the same truth. The question is not whether you care, or try, or love. The question is whether your clinging brings peace, or simply prolongs the inevitable. Here's where the shift begins. There are 4 torches. I call them the 4 torches of release. Because letting go can take many forms, and each one is a torch we must lift. The first torch lights the release of relationships. Sometimes a bond no longer reflects who we are. To walk away is not cruelty. It is honesty. Next, we have the release of dreams. A dream that once lit us can, in time, dim us. To lay it down is to make room for a fire that still burns. Another, release through forgiveness. Forgiveness is not for the one who wronged you. It's for the peace that you deserve. Finally, the release of the self. Perhaps hardest of all, to forgive yourself for not being who you thought you would be by now. This is not surrender. It is compassion. These torches do not blaze with spectacle, but they clear the dark hallways of the soul, one by one. Another lesson from the ancients of both your lands and these parts. The parable of the monks. There's an ancient parable. It says, 2 monks walked together and came upon a woman at a muddy riverbank. She struggled to cross. The elder monk lifted her and carried her across. Hours later, the younger monk, still troubled, finally spoke. "Why did you carry her? Our vows forbid contact with women." The elder monk replied, "I set her down hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?" This brings us to the question, how many things are you still carrying that you set down long ago in body, but not in mind? The past cannot be undone, but your grip on it can. So what does letting go look like in practice? Letting go does not mean forgetting. It does not deny pain, and it does not erase what shaped you. It means choosing what you carry forward and what you lay down. Practice these simple acts of mindfulness. When you wash a cup, let it remind you of what you no longer need to hold. When you fold a cloth, imagine laying down a burden with each crease. When you take a breath, picture the ember glowing brighter as the ash falls away. And remember, letting go is not loud, but it is life-changing. Now, as the fire dies, I leave you with these thoughts to ponder. these echoes of the wise, if you will. It's time to dig deeper. It's time to apply the wisdom of the power of letting go to your life with short, prompted journaling exercise. Spend a few minutes answering the following questions. Write 3 to 5 sentences for each question, and when you're done, reflect on your responses for 10 to 15 minutes before moving on to the next chapter. The first, in what ways might I stop resisting life and begin embracing the journey exactly as it is? What emotional burdens or memories from my past am I still carrying? And how would my life change if I finally let them go? Next, this is number 3. What are the core beliefs I hold about how life should unfold? And are those beliefs helping me or holding me back? Next, am I drawn to someone in my life out of genuine love, or because they offer familiarity and comfort? What's the deeper truth beneath my attachment? Lastly, what mistake or regret am I still punishing myself for? And what would it look like to offer myself compassion and forgiveness instead? In closing, traveler, allow me to remind you, the wisdom of letting go does not shout. It whispers. It whispers that life is still happening, that change is not your enemy, that who you are becoming is worth the space you make. This is not easy wisdom. It is not glamorous, and it's not always seen, but it is real, and it is ready when you are. So I ask you, traveler, what are you carrying that no longer serves the person you're becoming? Are you brave enough to name it? Are you brave enough to begin putting it down? May you find the strength to release, the courage to grow, and the peace that awaits you on the other side. This has been Echoes of the Wise, wisdoms too profound not to be shared, and truths too deep not to be known. I am Jason Welch, the Flame Bearer. Until next time, go forward carrying only what feeds your fire. Walk gently and release bravely.